The men ain't gonna like this one. Let me put on my seeing glasses. The men are not going to like this one. This is an article from Psychology Today titled Romantic Relationships Turn Off Women More Than Men. Many who have been married really do not want to do it again. Now, in this video, we're going to go through this article. I'm going to share a couple stories and we're going to gather some stats. So that way, if a booga comes your way, trying to make you do the ooga dance with him, trying to get you into his cave, he's just there with his 2 stones and a stick, being like, help me make some fire. And you say, get back, demon. And he's trying to, listen, if you just need some help, you're going to find some help in this article today. So hi, my name is shaynarc. I'm a journalist. I talk a lot about decentering men, being child-free, the intersections of the two, how it relates to society, theories and practices regarding them, and I can't remember what else I was going to say. Anyway, if any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. If you have a video that you would like me, if you have a comment that you would like me to make another video off of, I always appreciate a super thanks. If you're going to give a super thanks, type your question in the comment so that way it goes to the top because I'm still trying to catch up. Marriage and romantic relationships are relentlessly celebrated in the US and other nations. In popular culture, romantic plots are ubiquitous. Think everywhere. If you don't know what that word means, it just means they're everywhere, right? Characters who love being single and want to stay single, I call them single at heart, are rare. In the marketplace, the workplace, and just about every other domain, couples get special deals and better treatment. Singleism is also evident in hundreds of federal laws in the United States that benefit and protect only people who are legally married. Why? Because the government benefits, not necessarily the individual, but the government benefits by you being partnered. Whether you're happily partnered or not, they don't care. As long as you're partnered, the government benefits. Anyway, moving on. And yet, previous surveys of adults in the U.S. show that substantial numbers of solo single people, they are not married, cohabitating, or in a committed romantic relationship, do not want a romantic relationship. This article just came out, hot off the press. A just published study shows something similar. In love has a low priority. Gender and relationship history differences in singles' value of romantic partnership. Yale sociologist Hannah Tesler and her colleagues found that 39% of singles in the U.S. said that having a long-term committed romantic partner is not all important. However, they added an important qualification. Having a romantic relationship experience matters. And the implications are just the opposite for heterosexual men compared to heterosexual women. We about to see statistically, just how little women who have been married have been partnered to men, specifically heterosexual women who have been partnered to men, have learned the lesson, said thank you and no thank you. I do not need to learn another lesson. And just how much the men on the other side of that have experienced the benefit of having women be with them and say, oh my gosh, I want another woman to help my life get better in the way that that other lady did. Please, woman. So let's lay the groundwork. The participants and their previous romantic relationship experience. Data were from a nationally representative survey of adults in the U.S. in 2020 and 2021. The researchers focused on the 598 heterosexual adults who, in the second year of the survey, were either single and not dating or single and dating but did not have a committed romantic partner. Their average age was 50. The participants were asked how important it was to them to have a long-term committed romantic partner. People who said it was not at all important, 39%, compared to those who said it was at least somewhat important. Single participants were sorted into 3 categories of previous romantic relationship experience. No romantic experience at all, 28%. They have romantic experience. I'm sorry, I love saying it like that. But have never been married, 32%. And they were previously married, 41%. How previous romantic relationship experience matters in opposite ways for men and women. Now we're getting into the meat of things. Among the single people who had no previous romantic experience, the men were more likely than the women to say that it was not all important to have a romantic partner, 40% compared to just over 30%, though the difference was not statistically important. We're going to take a quick pause over here because I want to dive into this. 1. Romance is not marketed towards men. Romance is not marketed towards little boys. It has been marketed towards little girls and women and people that are attracted to men, but more specifically, little girls and women for the entirety of our lives. Disney movies, rom-coms, romantic novels, it's all marketed towards making women or female presenting people feel like they are incomplete without men or some kind of male attention. Now listen, as somebody that loves a romantic novel myself, some fully published smut, if you will, I understand that the romance novel industry right now is fully funded by women authors who realize that men as they are right now are disappointing, so they've created their own genre of men. Arguably, most of them are either part beast, undead, or full-blown fae. But I bring this up to say that while the study says that it's statistically not significant, the difference between the two, I think that it is interesting in that men who have not been partnered before have less of a yearning for it. But I also wonder if the marketing for men experiencing romance, because they're not encouraged to experience romance. Sure, like a romantic partner, they don't necessarily crave a romantic partner. They crave a sexual partner, but they don't crave a romantic partner necessarily. But with that, let us continue on. For those who did have previous romantic experience, the results were exactly the opposite. Women were more likely than men to say that having a romantic partner was not important at all. How many women? Let's discuss. Among those who had previous romantic relationship experience but had never been married, more than 40% of the women said that having a romantic partner was not important at all, compared to just 20% of the men of the same thing. Among those who had previously been married, more than half of the women, about 55%, said that having a romantic partner was not important at all, compared to just 30% of the men. Another way to think about the findings is this. For heterosexual men, if they have romantic relationship experience, they are more likely to want more. For the women, if they have romantic relationship experience, they are less likely to want more. In fact, for the women who were previously married, more than half say that having a romantic partner is not important at all. Let's discuss. Women who have been married. Women who have been partnered with men in a long-term committed fashion. They know the grass is not necessarily greener. Arguably, what you think is grass is really just toxic government-ordained bile. And this is why I think that it is so important to listen to older women, to listen to their wisdom, to listen to their experience, because they will tell you from experience, if that man is not making your life better, he is actively making it worse. Don't just get married. Don't just get with a man to be single. The stats prove that women that have been partnered with men once, and once that's done, they say, listen, I'm good. And that's not just older women. This is happening with women within my own friend group right now. And I'm a baby. Men who have been married, men who are currently married, live the soft life. That is the soft life that they are craving. It is marriage. It is marriage. It is having somebody there to be your at-home therapist, to be your cheerleader, to be your support, that has a certain level of cleanliness or maintenance, that they give you a skincare routine, they tell you how smart you are, they do all these things. That's the soft life for them. And a lot of them, the icing on the cake, sure, regardless of if it's 50-50 or not, you have somebody at the home picking up their slack. that is their soft life. And then the men that have experienced that and then don't have it anymore immediately crave it again. And the women that have experienced that and then have left that are fleeing from the hills, burning their bras, running into the woods, singing into the night, creating bonfires with their friends. But anyway, I have a friend who is my age. She is relatively recently divorced. Like, she got divorced like maybe 2-ish years ago. Yeah, about like 2-ish years ago. She was married in her 20s. And she, gorgeous, accomplished, brilliant, smart, like talented. And she said, Shayna, never. She wants children. She wants a family. And she's like, I don't know what it's going to take for me to even consider a man. Because Shayna, I did it once. I can't do it again. And she was married for a couple of years. It wasn't one of those, oh, I struggled through this for 15, 20, no, just a couple of years. It don't take long. It don't take long for you to realize that booga's poisonous. And you're seeing this more in the younger generations because, thank God, we got this little number right here, so that way we can go online and hear other people's stories if we are willing and wanting to hear other people's stories, specifically the women that have escaped, the heterosexual women that have escaped these kinds of relationships. But like, just things to keep in mind. It's just stats. No need to be mad. It's just facts. Now let's continue on. The researchers have little to say about why previous romantic relationship experience seems to be a turn-off for women, but seem to heighten men's interest in having a romantic partner. Really? Researchers have no idea. They have no idea why this math is mathing. Do the researchers talk to women? Do the researchers know women? These are just questions. They just noted that the women did an even more disproportionate share of the work around the house during the pandemic when the research was being conducted than they had before. I'm just saying that the researchers don't know. They don't know why there is such a disproportionate, why these numbers were heightened, why women are less interested. Because yes, the pandemic, like lockdown, it was a very real thing. It was a heightened set of circumstances that people already live in every day. It's not that the pandemic brought out a bad side of their partners. It's just that the pandemic made that side of their partners indisguisable. You couldn't run away from it at work. You couldn't flee to brunch to rant about it with your friends. You couldn't leave. You just had to sit in it, see it, stew in it. That's all. And we're going to wrap it up with this. There is other evidence too that women are typically less thrilled than men with their romantic relationship experiences. For example, divorce is far more likely to be initiated by women, about 70%, than men, about 30%. Of people 50 and older who divorce, women are less likely than men to remarry or cohabitate or cohabit. So with this information, I would beg the question for the people that are still kind of on the fence, for the people that are still just like, oh my God, I just want to be married. Oh my God, I just want to, oh, I just want a man to, with the information that is now presented. Not to say, I'm not discouraging people. If you want to be married, then go ahead. Like, you're allowed to want whatever you want, but like, want something good. Like, don't just want to be married for the sake of being married, you know? Don't just want that. That's just like saying, oh my God, I want a man. Just a man? Like, that's like me saying, oh my God, I could really use fruit right now. Oh, okay. Like, there's bruised bananas, there's rotting grapes. You just want fruit? No, be specific. Be specific and know that if you're not getting that specific thing that you want, that it's not worth your time. I want a $12,000 grapefruit. It's what I'm craving. If somebody comes around and then gives me like, I don't know, a bushel of very shiny apples, oh my gosh, that's really nice. Thank you. It's not what I want, but it's nice. I appreciate that. And then leave it alone. Leave it alone. Now, like, listen, you could have a fun time with it. You could enjoy it. I love an apple pie just like anybody else, right? But if it's not the thing, you got to set your standard. You got to set your standard and then not settle down. Not just settle. I'm talking settle down, not just get married because he's nice to you and washes himself every Tuesday. He's a man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, and if you want me to like make a tangent, you know what to do. I think I said it in the beginning. Yeah, you do what you do the tippity type your thoughts away, and like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. And then I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Bye.